What's up, everybody? This is a cold December 6th evening, 2024, and today marks the 3-month anniversary of my Japanese language learning journey. I've tried to record this video 5 times, so we're just going to hop right into it, and I don't have a script or anything, so just bear with me if it's a little cringe or if it's just a little all over the place. But what does it feel like to learn Japanese for 3 months? Well, I'm not Japanese yet, so update on that coming. That's unfortunate. Hopefully around month 5 or 6, I'll see a little bit more improvement on that. But honestly, the first month and a half of this journey for me was not even about language learning at all. I was doing immersion, I was doing Anki, all of that stuff. But the first thing that I had to overcome was my terrible self-doubt and my terrible mindset of feeling inadequate and feeling that Japanese was a language for people on an island far, far away from me, and they had the ability to learn it and I don't. That was a whole first couple months for me, was overcoming that mindset that I was not smart enough to learn the language. So if you're having those thoughts that this language just feels too far away for you to learn, it's for everybody. You're going to learn it. Stick with it. I'm only 3 months in, but I've seen enough progress and I've proven to myself enough already that I can do this if I stick with it, and you can too. So for Anki, SRS type stuff, I am at about 2,200 words. I haven't really fried all of those words into my brain. I've primed all those words, probably know by heart about 750 or so. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if the community counts that, but I do. And I don't know. I feel it working, so we'll just call it that. I do about 20 new cards a day, and my reviews, I'm at about I have 80 to 95 reviews a day at this point, which takes me about 45 minutes or so. I'm not a big stats guy. I don't record any of my progress or anything. This is what this video is for. I just immerse, and hopefully it works. But yeah, my reviews are getting a little heavy right now, so today is the first day that I took off new cards. And I just want to knock out some reviews, get my reviews down, and then I'll turn new cards back on. Immersion methods for me, I always lean towards enjoyable content. I have maybe once or twice tried to turn on a kid show or something comprehensible. A lot of people in this community, if you're in any of the Discords, have made tier lists with animes and dramas and their difficulties, which is very kind, but this media that is easy to understand tends to be very, very boring. And that's just my opinion. It's not always kids shows, but it's like little girl animes, little kawaii animes, and like the polar bear anime, stuff like that. If you're into that, awesome, because you'll probably make a little bit faster progress than I'm making. But I always go for enjoyable content. I do a lot of YouTube. I listen to his podcast, which is on Spotify, and there's like a bazillion episodes. He's probably a good language coach or language partner, rather. It'd be nice to sound like him, my Japanese to sound like him. So you can check him out. Also, I forgot the name of that super, super easy one. The one that everybody knows. Taipei. Nihongo Taipei, or whatever it's called. That's really good too. And he talks about cool stuff. I found him like talking about a lot of good like punk rock music and like uh, music from the night like Joy Division and stuff. It caught me by surprise, but he's into a lot of cool stuff. So if you're into any of that, listen to him. Listen to him. Um, I've watched a lot of. There's a lot of good. I have a VPN, and I watch a lot of good Japanese movies on Netflix. Um, Most of the time that I've been watching those, I understand little to nothing, but they're dope movies, and I'm engaged the whole time. So subconsciously, it has to be working, right? If I'm engaged, it's got to be working. Hopefully. Um, at the month 3 mark, I'm starting to really catch grammar, and I'm finally starting to understand, Japanese sentence formation and how it works. It's still pretty foreign to me, as it should be. I'm only 3 months in, but I have proof that it's working. I feel that it's working. In about month 2, I started picking up on grammar and vocab, and it doesn't feel any. I don't feel any different. I just kind of understand some things now, which is really cool. I do. You know what else is kind of crazy is that you have to have a dang IT degree to learn a new language in 2024. Like the learning curve with setting up Anki is wild. I did not expect that. It took me 7 hours probably to, figure out how to make decent flashcards. But I did that, and that is definitely worth it. I had tried to learn this language without making adequate flashcards, and language learning didn't really start until I figured out how to make audio with like a little image flashcard. That was an absolute game changer. That's when my language learning really took off, and that was about the month and a half mark that I started making cards. Now I have like 800. I've made 800 cards, which brings me to the next point. I might make too many cards because, like I said, my reviews are getting a little heavy already, and I have about like 800 cards in my backlog. So I don't know. I enjoy making the cards because I watch things that I enjoy, whether I understand it or not. And when I'm doing active immersion, I have my dictionary and I'm highlighting, and I'm just highlighting every single word in the sentence. There was one episode of Dandadan, which that show is fire, and super into it, and it's so easy to immerse with. Whatever you like, just immerse with that. That's just my opinion. A lot of people are going to recommend baby content. Whatever. Do that too. Again, you'll probably make faster progress. But there was this episode of Dandadan that I literally made like 100 cards. And a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, that's because it's way over your head and that's way overkill on cards. And I know it is. But I was super into it. And I was just making cards and I was really enjoying the whole process. And that is the most important part of learning Japanese, in my opinion, because this language is so hard and it's so easy for it to sound like homework. And that brings me to my next point. I did do the first Japanese from Zero book. I know textbooks aren't super popular in the immersion world, but this was enjoyable for me as well. And it is a textbook, but they do a good job of making it like, not really a textbook. It's pretty easy to get into. And George Trombley, the guy that wrote it, he also has a YouTube channel that goes over every lesson, and the guy has a great personality, and he's super witty and funny and makes learning fun. And so that is just another little supplement that I like to use, along with my podcasts and my animes and dramas and things like that. Again, I don't record any of my stats or anything. I'm immersing from anywhere from about, and I'm not counting passive. I immerse for anywhere from like 2 hours to 6 hours a day, but I always do at least two. Always at least two. But again, when you're into the material, I can easily do 4 or 5. And I'm busy. I'm in school full time, and I have a full time job. But having said that, I have totally kind of put all my friends and stuff on the back burner. I still have relationships with them. I haven't totally cut them out of my lives, but this is a huge feat that I'm trying to accomplish. And one of these days, I'm just going to pop back up on the scene, and I'm just going to have a couple of drinks and speak in Japanese for 30 minutes, and everybody's going to be like, oh, that's where you were for the last year and a half, 2 years. Again, I haven't cut all my friends out before I get, before anybody says anything about that. But again, this is a huge task, and you got to make sacrifices. And that's how I have the time to be in school full time and work full time. But that does require me to go to work, do my homework during my lunch break, come home, immerse 2 to 4 hours, go to bed, wake up early enough to do my reps, go to work, do my homework on my lunch break, come home, immerse for a couple hours, be in bed by 9:30, 10. Wake up early, rinse, repeat. So it's really just how serious you want to get with it. And I feel like that is some pretty good immersion time. But calculate that in with, I'm not starting with easy content. I'm just going to watch whatever I like. And there's so many good Japanese movies out there. Get a VPN and check out, if anybody has questions, what they like, I'll list some later. If anybody happens to comment on this, I'll list them out for you. Anyways, I'm 3 months in. I know nothing still. It's kind of a weird spot where I'm at. I know nothing still, but it feels like I'm starting to know something a little bit. Okay? Does that make sense? If you've been learning language for all, for any amount of time up to this point, up to a point where you're like, oh, I know that all of a sudden now. It's a weird feeling. It's almost not a feeling at all. You don't feel any different. You just know it the next day. It's kind of weird. And so I'm excited to see where that goes. Next update I'll do for myself is 6 months. I hope to know a little bit more. I'll make that video a little bit more organized. This is month 3. I just want to stick with it. It's not impossible, dude. You got this, or dudette, who's ever watching. You got this, man. Stick with it. And we're going to learn this language, dude. We're going to learn Japanese, and then we're going to go to Japan together. It's going to be awesome. All right.